Hi everyone, welcome back to our channel. Today we are going to discuss about Packer. What is Packer? So Packer is an open source tool which is developed by HashiCorp. Okay, so Packer is an open source tool. It is used to build and automated machine images for different cloud providers like AWS and GCP and Azure. Okay, today I'm going with I'm using AWS cloud provider with Packer. In okay, okay, let's talk about more what is Packer. Okay, see, generally, if you want to take the AMIs, how we are going to take the AMIs? Generally, if you, let's say for example, if you want to take the AMI, let's go to the AWS account. If you go to the AWS account, if you go to the server, let's say for example, we have one server running now. If you want to take the AMI, we are going to here and let's say we want to stop the AMI first. Okay, let's stop the server. We have one server which is already stopped. If you want to take the AMI, okay, let's go to here and take the here and create image. If you go and create image, we need to give the image name. Okay, let's give a test image something. It doesn't matter. You can keep it anything. Okay, if you test and all the things, if you just pass the details, if you scroll down below, you can see here create image. Okay, doesn't matter. You can create the image. If you create the image, what will happen is if you go scroll down you can see here AMIs. Okay, it's AMI is taken now. That's the image. Okay, so what does mean, what are the softwares and everything which is involved into the particular source target server, all the set, it's nothing but a snapshot of the server. So it will come up with the OS and what are the packages which is installed on the server or any application running and volumes and everything will come up. Okay, that is taking manual way. But when you go to the real world, so we don't want to take the AMIs manually, but we'll take the AMIs some cases. But real world, so we don't take the any AMIs manually. So when you build the AMIs initially, every organization has set of standards which you need to follow when you build the AMIs, and that is called private images. So when you build the AMI, they come up with security tools has to install and monitoring tools has to install and supply of TANM and other, like some kind of tools has to install. TANM is something like to push the patches in the server level. So they want centralized tool. They will push the patches in all the OS server. So these kind of things it will come up with the AMI. The AMI is going to distribute to all the AWS account where the by using AMIs application team will take the AMI. They will build on the top of web servers and databases, everything whatever they want. So this is the one kind of example. Such way we want to make it. We can't. If you want to install all kind of things, we have 100 accounts. It's really tough to manage 100 accounts. Every time we have to. Every person has to installing. So in this scenario, they will build initially. They will build the AMIs. What are the softwares which is required as per the organization standards? They will push the all AMIs in different accounts. From there, each application team has to take the AMIs. Then they will build the own applications and database whatever they want. Okay, so how we are going to use the packer? Okay, let's talk about how we are going to in packer. Actually we have a template. Okay, we'll build the machine image in the form of JSON file. Okay, what is JSON file? In the JSON file we will tell the what in JSON file we are going to give the couple of components name. Okay, mainly in JSON format we have couple of components which you need to which we have to give in that. Okay, mainly which are going to concentrate on the we're going to consider on the there is a three components. One is for the builder and the other one is provider and the other one is uh, there is okay, let me go and see builder and pro. Okay, so we are going to talk about builder and providers. The other final one is okay, post processor. Okay, let's talk about the builder. Okay, so what is builder? So builders are responsible creating machine images uh, and generating images from the various platforms. Various platforms means based on the providers. If you are using the AWS, we have to fill all the required input fields for the AWS. If you are using the Azure, we are going to fill the required input filters to the particular builder section. Okay, so I'll talk about how we are going to fill in little later when you write a JSON file. Then you can easily understand. Okay, what is a provisioner? So provisioner basically say, let's say for example, when you build the AMIs on the top of that, let's say for example, you are using the Tomcat application or Nginx or some other Oracle software, some other Postgres or something. It doesn't matter. You have to install just Java package or Python package. So whatever you want. So those kind of provisioners. Okay. In Packer, there are Packer support different provisioners. Provisioners. Okay. what is provisions actually? There is different what kind of provisions available. Let's say for example, we have a shell provisioner available, and we have a ansible provisioner. We have puppet available. Okay, inline is available. Inline shell, we can use the inline shell, and yeah, there are different. Okay, let's talk about, see, basically the provisioner is nothing but it's like a OS level configuration. Okay, simple world is OS lock. OS lock configuration, how we are going to push? We can install manually, or we can install by shell. We can install Ansible. We can install Chef. We can install Puppet. So there are different ways. These kind of all providers, okay, Packer is going to support. Okay, okay. Let's talk about the post. Basically, post process. Okay, so post process means once you done everything, we'll cut the output with a different format. So let's say for example, you build the AMI output and everything come different format. That's a JSON format. Just will give the output. So once complete the post process, it's like a post build activity. Post build activity will give the output. That's called post process. Okay, let's go ahead and show you how. So let's go ahead and show. I'll show you how we are going to build the Packer images. Okay, so I have a Visual Studio here. So I have a folder called Packer demo. So inside Packer demo, we have a manifest JSON available and packer.sh file available. Okay, okay, let's go ahead and see the what is my okay, I'm in the here. So I'm in the packer.json file. If you go up. Okay, this is the packet.json which I am using. So here I am using the variable. Okay, variables means we don't want to give any hard code values here. So we are trying to give the variable name. By using variable, we are going to connect to the inside builder. Okay, so I'm using the AMS target name. So what are the name which you want, you can keep it. But I'm using packet.base image -2 and AMI one AMS source name. So let's say if you want to build the AMI, we have to take the one AMI which is available in our AWS account. Okay, now, I have one AMI already available in my account. I'm going to take the AMI. If you scroll down below, you can see I'm in the AMI section. So I have AMI called. This is the AMI, my own image. Okay, if you go and see here, okay, this is the my source AMI which I am using. If you want, you can use the other AMI also which is available for test one. We can use that one. But I'm using the my own image. Okay, that is the base image. In organization, they will push the AMIs into all accounts. From there, we have to take on the top of that, we have to install the application. That is our target. We have already source AMI available. That is called my own image. Okay, in the AMI source owner, what is the AMI source owner? If you go and see here, what is the owner here? You can see this is the owner 491. Okay, if you see this is the my which I'm giving the value of the my AMI source owner. Okay, then the sh user, what is the user? If you want to create as part of the AMI, I want to go with the default EC2 user. Okay, this is my AWS access key and secret key. These keys actually I created one user. Okay, let's go ahead and I'll show you what is how we are going to create the user. If you go to the IAM, okay, I have already created one user. Okay, if you go to the user, okay, I already created one user. That's a packer. Okay, so if you create the user, once you create the, I attach the full administrator access. So let's say administrator access privilege. What does it mean? So by using user by the particular packer user, you can do anything within the AWS account. That is the meaning. Okay, if I go back to how we are going to create the user, if you click on here, we are going to keep the, let's say for example, packer 2. Okay, if you come here, the programmatic access and console access. I don't want console access. Console access is nothing but a URL access. I want programmatic access. Programmatic means we can use any SDK tools. Let's say we're using Terraform. We can use JavaScript. We can use AWS CLI. We can use a lot of SDKs available. We can use whatever we want. There are 10 SDKs available. We can use whatever we want. But I'm using Packer at the moment. Click on this one. If I scroll down below, so let's say next to permissions here, the particular user, what kind of privilege we want? I want to give the admin access. I'm selecting this one. If you go to and create user, it will create the user. I don't want to create the user. I have already created the user just before. So that is the username called Prekal. If you want to create the user, just to follow the process, you can create the user. But make sure you user have a should administrator access. Otherwise, at least you should have a the particular EC2 level full access. Okay. Why? Because when you build the packer what will do? It will going to create the EC2 server. Then it will install what are the softwares which is required as part of the provision. Then it will shut down the server. Then it will take the AMI. Then it will terminate the server. Okay, in that case, the packer is going to communicate through EC2 servers only. It's not going to communicate any other resources within the AWS account. So in that case, if you want, you can give the full admin access for the particular user, IAM user, or you can give the full access for the EC2 level. Okay. Okay, let's go back to the code. Here we have given all the places. Okay, if I come here, okay, either type is Amazon EBS. Why? Because I am using the AWS. If you use the Azure, which Azure VM, so we have to give the Azure VM file is something, I think. Okay, if you have such a way. So access key and secret key, this is the variables. It's picking from here, and secret key it's picking from here. Okay, here if you go on the region where you want to create your AMI. So let's say for example, I'm going to create. I'm using at the moment London region. If you go back and go to the EC2, so I'm using London region. So that's why I'm using the EC2. If I scroll down here, you can see the region name here. Okay, these are using I am using. So I'm taking the EU West 2. Okay, if you're using different region, you can take that one, depend upon. But I'm using London region, that's why I'm taking as a EU West 2. What is the AMI user? Okay, what is the AMI user? Nothing but your account name, account ID. If you click on here, you can see here, and that is your account ID 491. Okay, that's the one which I'm taking here. Okay, so the timeout basically when you have a something between timeout, basically what will happen if you have something firewall, you have timeout set up between your local machine to or AWS account, that kind of things which you required. So if you want, you can keep it. Otherwise, you can take it out. Doesn't matter that one. If you have a source filters, the source filter is nothing but these are the things you have to fill it here. And root volume should be EBS. Why? Because we're using the AWS. That's AWS come up with only for the EBS volume with the storage for the EC2 server. Even you can use the EFS also, but Packer will support only for the EBS. Okay. If you scroll down below, these are the things which you need to fill. And if you come here, instance type, I'm using T2 micro. So the SSH, these are the field which you need to fill, and VPC ID, which VPC you want to create the why these details we has to follow here, VPC ID, subnet, and SSH putty, and these are tags and all the stuff. So basically what will happen is when you build the packer, what will you, it's going to communicate the AWS console. It will going to based within the region where you want to create it will create the server, it will launch the server, then it will provision all the things. It will based on the inputs, it will create the file system root volume with 10 GB. Then after that, it will going to execute the package data set. If you go to the package data section in the providers, we have using the shell. Shell means, so it's going to execute all the thing. It's going to execute package data. Package data set, what are the files available? If you go and see here, package is going to install the Java, and it's going to install the Nginx. It's going to systemctl enable Nginx. What is the enable Nginx? Once you reboot the server, it automatically Nginx service has to come up. That's why I'm enabling Nginx service as well. So that is going to execute the package data set. The post process basically manifest. Manifest, it will come up with the manifest output. Then I will show you later. Once you complete the AMI build, then you can understand what is the process. It will come up with a JSON output. See, this is not a mandatory, and this is not also mandatory. So if you want to run on the top of the image, you can use the provisioners. If you don't want to run any softwares within the AMI, just take it out. That's up to you. But generally, if you build AMI, you can install any, suppose Java or anything, Java or Ansible, or you can install Python. It doesn't matter. You can install Tomcat application. You can use any Nginx. It's up to you. But this way, Packer is going to work. Okay, so let's start and building the AMIs. Then you can understand the how we are going to build the AMIs. Okay, first I'll go ahead and install Packer software. Then you can understand. Let's go back to the Packer. Okay, so if you go to the Packer, here the Packer document. If you enter the Packer, let's say for example, if you go and enter the Packer, if you click on Hacker, you can see the Packer is Archicop. If you come down a little bit slowly, okay. So getting started. If you want, you can go here. Okay, so before going to that one, okay, I'll talk about little downloads. If you click on downloads, here we have a Mac OS available, Windows available, Linux available, and the couple of available. Okay, so I'll take it Windows. First, I will. We can go with Windows, or you can go with Linux. I will go to the Windows. Okay, if you click on here, I'm downloading here. If you click on here, so it's downloaded. If you go back, okay, it is downloaded here. Okay, what will happen is I have already installed previously. Let me take it out, these two. Okay, these are just now download. If I extract here, I'm going to extract now. So what will happen? Let me extract here. Okay, if I extract, it's going to create one folder called pack or something. Okay, so this is my one. So let me copy this one, If you go back, I'm going to place one folder. You can keep it anything. I'm going to place one folder that is called binaries inside C drive. I already placed, I'm going to replace now. Okay, just replace that. I have already previously. So I placed it C drive binaries. Okay. Now, if you want, you can keep it anywhere. Okay, let me go back to the console level. Okay, so now, okay, let me open another one, then you can understand. So, okay, where I place it, if I, uh, uh, see, go back. I'm the binaries, okay. Binaries, we have file called packer dot, okay. This is the file, okay. Packer dot execute available. If I click, if I enter packer, you can see. That's it. So you don't want to install anything. Don't want to install anything. Just download the file. Just extract the file. Just copy the file wherever you want. If you want, you can run anywhere. Doesn't matter. But if you want to run a specific environment wise, you have to set the environment. Okay. Based on your computer. Okay. If you want to set the environment, you need to set the environment. Otherwise, I don't want to set the environment. But if you don't want set, if you don't set the environment, so we have to go the particular folder. From there, you have to run the .execute file. That's why you have to install the packer in Windows Server. If you go back to the, let's say for example, if you go back to Linux, I have in the Linux server. Okay, I already downloaded Packer. How we are going to download the Packer? If you go here, okay, if you want to search Linux one, how we are going to download? Let's go to here. Okay, download. If you click on download, copy link address. When you click on the copy link address, what will happen is, let me show you. So when you go click on this one, let me delete this one and Packer as well. Okay, I'm going to delete these both too. Let me go ahead and copy again. Copy link address. Okay, wget already installed. If you don't install wget, install wget again has to install. Okay, if you don't install, just leave this one. I'm using wget. I already installed. Okay, click on here. It's downloaded. Okay, if you go and see, this is the package .zip file. Just do the unzip. Okay, just unzip. So just unzip. Okay, what will happen is, I'll show you one thing before going done. User local sbin sbin. I'm in the folder. I already packer is available. Let me take it out this file here. Then you can understand. Okay, now let's go back to the where I have placed it. Okay, now I have a packer file here. If I run packer, if I run this one, it won't work. Why? Because no such value. It's showing this user local bin packer. It's always going to the environment variable. Okay, environment file. So in that case, what will happen is, if I want to execute, I want to execute like this. Let's say for example, if I went to the different folder, let's say for example, I went to the packer demo. If I went to the, again, if I run the just packer, uh, if I run the packer, it won't work. Why? Because we didn't set the environment. In the such case, what we need to do to avoid all the things, so we have to set this environment. Okay, copy this one. Which folder is showing user local has been. If I copy this one, now has been. If I go to the packer demo, here we don't have any packer software available. You can see here there is no packer. If I run the packer again here, basic packer, so it will work. You can see we can run the packer anywhere. Not only this folder, you can run the packer anywhere. If you run the packer, it will work. Why? Because we set the environment file for the packer. That's why we have to install the packer. Just need to download the packer, just unzip. If it is unzip, means Linux, we have to unzip. It is Windows, we need to extract the file. Okay. This way we have to install the packer in Windows and Linux environment. Okay. So before going that one, let's go back to the see the document. So if you look at here, there are builders available. Okay, let's talk about, there is a two components available in each JSON file. Let's go. We already discussed it here. So two components. Variables doesn't matter. If you want, you can use. You can, otherwise you can take it out. If within the builders. So these, if you look at these, all the things which is required for the AWS. That's why we are calling. Why? Because I am working with AWS. If you use Azure, we have to go with Azure. Okay. If you build a section, these are all things. The other thing is provisioner. Okay, let's go back to the builder section. If you look at here, there are overview in the builder section. You can see builder is responsible for creating the machine image and generating image from the various platforms. Okay. in the EC2, VMware, VirtualBox, so on, so on, etc. It's depend upon. If you come down, there is a lot of things is just follow. You can see AWS, Azure, Cloud Stack, Digital Ocean, Docker. A lot of things is there for builder section. It's depend upon the vendor, depend upon the cloud provider. If you go to the provision, you can see the basically provisioners is nothing but a configuration which you are installing in the OS level. Okay, if you want to install the OS level, whether it could be push the Ansible. If you want to install, for example, Nginx, we can install the Ansible or Breakpoint, Chef, and a lot of things either file in space, PowerShell. We can go with the multiple things either, but I'll go with first initial. I'll go with shell. Then later I will proceed with Ansible. First, this this video will talk about the shell. The next video I'm going to do with Ansible. Okay, these are things which you need to follow for provisioners. Provisioner basically the simple thing is if you want to install within the server configuration management, that we have to use for the provisioners. Okay, and post process is nothing but output of the your packer build. Okay, so what I go to first, let me build the AMI here. If the same code which I copied my local machine, so let me take it out manifest. This will not required. Okay, so the same code what I'm doing here. So package.sh file, what is the package which I'm using? I'm installing OS stuff. I'm using Java and Nginx and enabling system. Okay, if I open the package.json, so you can see variable which I'm same code which I copied locally. I'm keeping all the required stuff for the builder. Then finally, I'm calling the provisioner for the shell. You can see the type is here shell. Why? Because I'm using the shell. Okay, that's why I keep it as a package.json file, which I'm calling here. Okay, if using the Ansible, we have to give different way. Ansible hyphen lawful, such a way is there. I'll talk about after this video. The next video which I'm going with Packer with Ansible. Okay, this video I'm going to Packer but basic shell. Okay, that's why my type is shell. If using the Ansible, so my type is would be Ansible hyphen local, Ansible hyphen remote. There is a two ways is available. I'll proceed. I'll talk about after this video. Okay, so let me go run the packer. Okay, first if I run the packer, you can see here available commands are build the image from the template is nothing but a JSON file. Okay, if I run this one, this is the JSON file. This is called the template. Okay, so here we have console is just for variable. There is a few things available. So before going to that, first we want to make sure the JSON file has a valid or not. Why? Because if you have mistakes, the JSON file will throw the error. Okay, let's say for example, I'll show you packer. Okay, validate. Okay, if I enter the JSON. Okay, let me before going to validate, I'll show you what is. Uh, okay, let's say for example, if I keep it here variable, some different way. If I keep it here, if I come down below, I'll give one error here. Then you can understand. Keep it as a one thing, some different way. Okay, let me run the validate now. Packer validate. Okay, if you copy here packer validate, and what is the template which I am using packer.json. If I enter here, see what will happen is you can see builder uh, missing type line one. You can see one is missing type. Here is type where is calling the inside the builder. Okay, if you go and open the packer.json, you can go back and to see where it's typing. It's showing clearly saying type. This is the type. So what? Let me take it out this one. Okay, let me take it out. What we added earlier. Let's save it again. Now run again. Packer validate. You can see now, so there is no errors. So it means it went fine. Okay. Now let me go ahead and okay. And also, if you want to run the packer and just packer hyphen version, if you run the version, it will come up the packer version. It doesn't matter. We can with any version. If you want to go with the old version, also you can. If you want to inspect also, packer inspect. Yes, sir. If you enter pack and inspect also nothing but what you do, AMI is taking source details and builders. So builders using Amazon EBS and providers we are using shell. It will show the what we are using exactly. So we are using AWS, that's why it's showing Amazon EBS. The provisioner which are using the shell, that's why it's showing the shell. If you use the Ansible, it will come up with the Ansible. Okay. Let's go ahead and run the build the packer now. Okay. If you run the go ahead and packer, let me clear the screen. Then you can let me clear the screen. So sorry. So packer build and JSON file. Let me run the packer build JSON file. If I enter, you can see it is taking the image ID for the found. There is one image ID. Let's go back and what is the source image ID which we are using. If I go back here, dashboard, let's go down to the what is the image name which we're taking. If you go back here, you can see the image name is CC 5CC. If you can, that is the image which is taking further to build the image. So if you want to build image, there is a base image should be required, which I am using the base image which is already available in my AWS account. If you are using your image, you can use. But here you need to understand one thing. I have own my private image available. That's why I went to private image. If you want to go with public image, again you have to take this AMI. So we need to make sure understand there is a three types of image. One is for the owned by me, and public image and private image. But I'm using private images. If you don't have any private images, go with public images and do filter based on that. Okay, go to the private images. That is the image which is checking. Now what is going to do? So you can see now the tag which I'm going to packer builder, that is the instance name which is going to create, and that is the instance ID. If you go back to the console, go back to the console, you can go to the console and see there is a one server which is creating now. That is called you you can see here. Maybe I can use a filter running. Yeah, you can see I'm using filter for now. You can see there is server is creating. You can see here uh, initializing. Okay, you can see here initializing. If you can see that is the instance ID 26. If you go back and maybe that is gone. So what it's going to create the server. It will create the server. Now it is installing all the things. You can see here. So installing. You can see Java is installing here. So that is completed. You can see. The, so now all the provision is progress. The builder is completed. Now you can see Nginx installing. You can see Nginx services got completed. The systemctl Nginx command is there. The systemctl Nginx command. If you go and see here, package systemctl Nginx, that is a command which is just executed. This is the command. This is the created symbolic link. Okay. Now what happened is the AMI build is completed. Now it's stopping the server. If you go back and see the console, now server is stopping. The filter when you take it out, you can see the packer builder is stopped. Okay. So what is happening is it's going to take the AMI. Okay. So if you go here, now waiting for AMI ready. If you go to the AMIs, you can see if you go to the AMIs, you can see now packer image is taking. You can see here, you can see status here pending. Now image is taking. It will take a few minutes of time. What packer will do when you run the packer build, it will create the one server. We don't want anything. Packer itself only it will create one server. Then once you create a server, what are the commands which you need to execute for the based on the provisions, whether it be shell or ansible, it will execute on one. Okay. Then it will create the image. Then it will install all the packages. Then it will shut down the server. Then it will take the AMI. Then it will turn on the server. So in between, if you command anything fail, the packer is not going to finish. It will not create the AMI. That's the beauty of the packer. If something, let's say for example, you added something in the .sh file, that command is not properly placed. What will happen in that cases? The packer is not going to build the AMIs. It'll come up with the error. Okay, there is some error which is available .sh file. You need to fix the issue. So everything went fine. Then only packer is going to build the image. Otherwise, packer is not going to build the image for us. Okay, you need to make sure understand. So this will take a few minutes of time. So meanwhile, okay, now I executed the command in the Linux one. The same command has to execute to Windows environment as well. There is nothing new. Okay. So Windows also I placed the code where I placed the code. I have placed the code into the C drive packer demo. If I go to the C drive and packer, so I placed where I placed. If I Yeah, I'm here packer demo. Okay, here I have a file. So dir, okay, packer.json file. So we have to just need to execute the same command packer. So how we need to execute packer build the same code which is available locally Visual Studio. So JSON man package dot packer.json file. Just need to run that one. It will build the packer images. I don't want to build. I already build the packer, so you can try with Windows as well. Okay, doesn't matter. Same code which I am using for. Okay, now the packer build is completed. You can see that's the image name. If you go back console, you can see now AMI is available. This the 02. If you go back, this is the 102. If you go back and see what is the server status now, the AMI build successfully completed. So if you come down here, you can see the packer builder. Okay, server is terminated. Okay, now we have successfully built the image. What are the things which you build as part of the packer build? So we have built the AMI with an AWS account, and as part of the build, we have a Java is available and Nginx available. These things should has to come with the AMI. Let's go ahead and validate the AMI now. So how we are going to do now? I have already Terraform code which is available locally. Okay, let me go back and go to the Terraform demo. Okay, here I am using what I am using. Let me take it out. These all the backups which is not required for me now. Terraform, TF state, all the things which are not required. Now what I am using now, I have a here. There's a Terraform command is EC2.tf. If I open this one, Terraform, what I am going to do, I am going by Terraform. If you don't know the Terraform, I have a few videos which is already available in my YouTube channel. Please go and watch the Terraform. Then you can understand what is Terraform. Okay. Now I'm using some couple of components. What is the AMI and subnet ID and VPC where I want to create. Now based on the image, I'm using data source. Okay. I don't want to specifically any the AMI value. I'm using data source. So data source is nothing but it will always pick the latest AMI which is available from the my AMIs here. If I go back to the AMIs, okay, this always pick the latest one. Okay, so if I go back, see what is the data source. If I open the data source.tf file, this is the syntax data.aws. Okay, AMI and most recent should be true. So why? Because it always pick the latest AMI. So I don't want to give any hard coded my environment. I want to build automatically with the latest AMI. Let's say for example, we are going the hard coded value for the here AMI section. I don't want to give this, and I can directly pass the take the AMI value and give it to. But tomorrow, if you build a new AMI, so I don't want to give every time hard code. I want to come up with the most recent image. That's why I'm using the filter here. If I come here, there's a AMI most recent which I'm passing here. The Nginx is name rejects. There is one more argument that is called packer. If you go back and see here, that is called packer images. Okay, and the owner, what is the AMI owner? If you go and see, there's my owner AMI of the owner. That is a 91. That is the this is the AMI one, and the filter should be HVM. If you go want to see the code, all the things how we are going to filter. If you go and see the document, Terraform document, you can see here. So resource AWS instance. If you scroll down below, you can see that is called provide AWS, and this would be the syntax, data source syntax. This is the way we have to filter the all the things. Okay, in AMI. If you don't know, just follow the Terraform. Done the Terraform EC2. If you click enter here, it will open this one Terraform EC2. If you go back and see, it will come up with the same, would be same one. Okay, this is the data source which I am using. Okay, you can take this one based on the filter. You need to change your owner of the account, and name would be different one. There is one more is there. If you want to use this one also, most recent one true, and name of the reject should be we have to give based on that. We have to give these details. This is the name of the rejects. Okay, so I passed all the details here. Okay, now what I'm going to do, I'm going to run the Terraform apply. So we can use the Terraform any version. If I'm using Terraform, let me run the Terraform version. So I'm using the Terraform 12.20. Now let's go ahead and Terraform apply. Okay, so before going to apply, I would like to show you something. Okay, if we go back and see ec2.tf, okay, what is the engine? My server name which I'm using a product and environment. So the product value where I'm calling the Terraform TF style. I'll strongly recommend please my previous video, then you can understand the Terraform. So what is the product which I'm using? If you go back to the variable I'm just calling the product and environment database, and there is one more file called Terraform TF state where I'm giving the my values. Okay, I'm using product Tesco and the environment would be the dev. This is the server which I'm launching. So I don't want to use this AMI, but anyway, why? Because I'm not using the AMI. So I'm using the data source for the EC2. If you go back and see, this is the data source which I am using. Data source, where is coming from? Data source. If I click on here, this is the data source. Would be the syntax, this one. Okay, that's why my syntax. If you go back and see, so AMI, how we are taking. So this is the data and take the data source name, and data source name would be the AWS underscore AMI, and logic name would be the AMI. That's why I'm calling it as AMI. That's why I'm calling as AMI here. If it doesn't matter, this would be the standard name. We can't change this. We can give any name. This name come up with Arshikop. The code is designed by Arshikop. So we can't change this name. If you change this one, it won't work. This is the logical name. If you want, you can keep anything, but I'm going with AMI. If you want, you can keep it your name also, doesn't matter. But this would be the argument. Okay. Argument should not change. Okay. Argument, we can keep it dot ID or dot name. How we find out the argument? Let's go back to the Terraform code. If you can see here, if you scroll down below, so you can see here all the way come down. So these are the attribute. Sorry, that's the attribute. Sorry, that's the attribute. You can see the ID here, or you can use the ARN also. ARN means every Amazon resource have one ARN. Amazon resource, you can take that one also. But I'll place it with ID. Okay, that is a attribute. That's why I'm taking as a attribute here. Okay, so let's go ahead and Terraform apply. The rest of things, instance type, I'm using the calling the variable inside key pair and all the subnet ID and VPC stuff which I'm creating. Let's go ahead and run the Terraform apply. So my intention is make sure when you create the server itself only we have a Java version. Java software should be software should be available, and Nginx software. Nginx it has to run up and running when you create the server, when you launch the server. Why? Because as part of the script, what we done, so we as part of the Packer build we have installed the Java and Nginx, and we have enabled the system service. What does mean enable system service? When you create this, when you boot the server, let's say we restart the server. If you don't enable the Nginx services, what will happen is again when you reboot the server, again we have to go and manually has to start the services. I don't want to do so. That's why I am enabling the service. Enabling means as part of the boot process, when you reboot the server, the boot process itself only the services should come up. The services will automatically come up. Okay, that's why I'm enabling the Nginx services. If you go back and see now, go back to see here. Now server is created. Let me go back. Let me filter now running again. Then you can easily find out. Now we can see Tesco dev. I'm using the product name we call Tesco. If you can see here, what is the product name which I'm using here? More easy to. If you can see tags, I'm using the name called product. What is the product which I'm using? If you do grape, you can see I'm using my Terraform TFS hardcode word Tesco. What is the environment which I'm using? If we grep again, grep environment, you can see I'm using as a environment dev. Okay, if you don't know Terraform, just follow my previous videos which is available. Terraform basics, how we need to start, how we need to install, then you can easily understand. Okay, now we can see server is up and running. Let me take the IP address of the server. So before installing server also, we can directly take the public IP. We can go here, we can say hit you can see Nginx up and running, but I want to make sure I want to log into server, then you can easily understand. Let me go back to server. Then you can see we can already confirm the Nginx up and running. We can see the console output, otherwise the Nginx won't come. It will not show the output. Okay, I want to make sure see manually. Let me log into server. What is the AMI which I created? EC2-user. That is a user which I give it as part of the packer.json file. Where is that one? EC2-user. If you go up, so this is the one sh username. EC2. If you want to keep in, you can also you can keep different one. So I keep it as a different sudo -a. Let me run the Java version. So you can see one point available OpenJDK. If you but that is the one which you install as part of the uh, provisioning script. Okay, you can see done. Now let's check the systemctl nginx. How we need to check the systemctl status nginx? You can see nginx up and running. Okay, I just want to make sure it has to come up with automatically. So that's why we have to. Let me go back and terminate the. Let me go back and terminate the Terraform destroy. Now I run the Terraform. Now I'm going to run the destroy Terraform. Terraform dst destroy. If you run the Terraform destroy, it'll automatically it'll automatically destroy the server as well. If you go back and see, it's trying to take it out all the things. So destroying one after one. So destroying volumes. So you can see that is gone. Now if you see come up, you can see test code dev, that is shutting down. It will going to terminate in few minutes. Okay, I hope you guys understand my video. This is the way we have to create the AMIs. So after the AMI, based on the data source, we have to base in Terraform. So it will automatically launch the servers. So I don't want to specify any hard code value my Terraform, or because the AMI keep on building. So they want to build the monthly ones. Such cases, data source is the best option. It automatically filter the latest images. It will automatically deploy your servers. Okay, these are one which I'm going to talk about by using shell file by using the shell here package addition. So in the provisioners, I'm talking about the shell type is shell. Next video which I'm going to talk about Ansible. With Ansible, I'm going to install Tomcat application with Ansible. Then you guys understand how we need to use the packer with the shell and Ansible. So these are two videos which I'm going to provide. I hope you guys might like video. Please do subscribe my channel. If you have any doubts, please comment in comment section. When I have a time, I'll reply your comments as soon as possible. Thank you so much and have a good day.